So I'm going to go over the true biblical timeline of Yeshua's death, burial, and resurrection, and show how those who say that he was killed on a Friday and rose again on Sunday, how that is completely false, as well as debunking the lunar Sabbath keepers who claim that the moon determines when the weekly Sabbath is. So I'm going to start off here in Daniel chapter 9 and verse 26, and it says that after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Now notice it says that the Messiah will be cut off in the midst of the week. Now the middle of the week is a Wednesday, not a Friday. So here in Matthew chapter 12, starting in verse 39, Yeshua says, "But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." And now in Matthew 20, starting in verse 1, it says, "In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and came and rolled back the stone from the door, and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. And for fear of him the keepers did shake, and became as dead men. And the angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Yeshua, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen. As he said, Come, see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you." And as a second witness, let's go to Luke 24, starting in verse 1. "Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre, and they entered in, and found not the body of the Lord Yeshua." So now we know that the Messiah was cut off in the midst of the week, which is a Wednesday, on a high Sabbath, the Passover, and then was buried 3 days and 3 nights, and rose again on the weekly Sabbath, which is Saturday dawn to dawn. And so here on Wednesday, during the daytime, he was crucified. He was buried by Wednesday night when Passover began, and then he was in the grave from Wednesday to Thursday is 1, Thursday to Friday is 2, Friday to Saturday is 3. And he was risen sometime Saturday evening. And we know that because in Matthew 21, as the Marys went to the tomb early in the morning, as it was beginning to dawn into the first day of the week, which was a Sunday, his body was already gone, which meant that he rose on the weekly Sabbath, making him Lord of the Sabbath. So this shows that the Friday crucifixion to the Sunday resurrection is completely false, because Friday to Saturday is 1, Saturday to Sunday is 2. That's not 3 days and 3 nights. Now when it comes to the lunar Sabbath keepers, they claim that the high Sabbaths always fall in line with the weekly Sabbaths. So if that's true, then if he was killed on preparation day of the Passover, how is it possible that he was buried 3 days and 3 nights and then rose again on another Sabbath? Well, according to the lunar Sabbath keepers, that's impossible. That's just as bad as those who say that he was killed on a Friday and then rose on a Sunday. And so this is what happens when you don't have the Holy Spirit of truth, which you only receive when you keep God's commandments. And so clearly these people who teach the lunar Sabbath and the Friday crucifixion to Sunday resurrection have a spirit of error, not the spirit of truth. And we are to worship God in spirit and in truth.